students, welcome to our virtual chemistry class. This is Muhammad Asif Iqbal, Senior Teacher, Department of Chemistry, Milestone College. In this class, I am going to discuss with you Chapter 10, which is Mineral Resources, Metal, Non-Metal. And the topics that I am going to discuss are extraction of non-metal, uses of non-metal. The non-metal which we are going to discuss with you is sulfur. This is the last lecture of this chapter. This chapter is equally important for your upcoming exam and your SSC exam. So you must watch this class from beginning to end with full of concentration. Dear students, now come to the point. Like metals, non-metal can be extracted from the mine. The non-metal which extracted from mine are known as non-metal minerals, and there are different types of non-metal minerals. Among them, sulfur is one. And in this class, I am going to discuss with you the extraction process of sulfur and the uses of sulfur in different perspectives. Now, the sulfur is a yellow-colored substance which remains deep inside the earth, and the melting point of sulfur is 115 degrees Celsius. The method through which we extract sulfur is known as Frisch method. Now students, I am going to show you how we can extract sulfur from mine by using Frisch method.
Frisch process for extraction of sulfur. The Frisch process is based on the fact that sulfur has a comparatively low melting point. The Frisch pump, consisting of 3 concentric pipes, is sunk deep into the sulfur bed. Superheated water at about 170 degrees Celsius under pressure is pumped into the outermost pipe. The superheated water enters the sulfur bed. This melts the sulfur present in the sulfur bed. Compressed air under a pressure of about 20 to 25 atmospheres is pumped in through the innermost pipe. This forces the mixture of water and molten sulfur to gush out of the middle pipe. This mixture of molten sulfur and water is collected. On cooling, about 99% pure sulfur gets separated.
Now students, what are the use of sulfur? We know sulfuric acid is one of the most important chemical which is widely used in various industries, and one of the most important component of sulfuric acid is sulfur. And in rubber industry, sulfur is added with rubber to make it sustainable, and the method through which we are adding sulfur with rubber is known as vulcanizing. And sulfonamide is a medicine which is used to kill the bacteria, and one of the most important component to prepare this medicine is sulfur. So we can find out that sulfur is used in rubber industry preparing sulfuric acid, and also in medicine industries. I'm going to discuss with you some of the compounds of sulfur. Among them, sulfur dioxide is one. Sulfur undergoes reaction with oxygen which is present in the air and produce sulfur dioxide gas. You can see sulfur when react with atmospheric oxygen, it will produce sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is a toxic gas and it has acute odor. It is extremely harmful when it enters human body through mouth and nose. It creates a burning sensation when it comes contact with our eyes. Sulfur dioxide is produced due to the burning of coal and petroleum which contain sulfur as impure substance. So when we burn coal or petroleum, the sulfur which remain inside the coal or petroleum come contact with oxygen and produce sulfur dioxide. This sulfur dioxide gas react with atmospheric water and produce sulfurous acid. You can see sulfur dioxide when react with atmospheric water which remain as a vapor and produce sulfurous acid. Due to the presence of sulfurous acid, the pH value of rainwater decrease significantly and the rainwater become acidic. So these are some of the examples of sulfur compounds. Among all the chemicals, sulfuric acid is highest used chemical. That's why this chemical is known as king of all chemicals. Sulfuric acid is produced from solid sulfur in industries, and the method through which sulfuric acid is prepared from solid sulfur is known as contact method. In the first step of the preparation of sulfuric acid, sulfur and dehydrated air pass through a furnace. Here, sulfur react with oxygen and produce sulfur dioxide gas. Now, I am going to show you all the steps one by one. In the first step, sulfur undergoes reaction with dehydrated air. Only oxygen are present there in a furnace and produce sulfur dioxide gas. Now, after preparing the sulfur dioxide gas, we supplied sulfur dioxide gas with oxygen in another furnace. In that furnace, sulfur dioxide reacts with oxygen at the temperature of 450 to 500 degrees Celsius. To increase the rate of that reaction, we use vanadium pentoxide as a catalyst. And at the presence of vanadium pentoxide and in 450 to 500 degrees Celsius, sulfur dioxide turn into sulfur trioxide gas. Now, in the second step, we can see sulfur dioxide undergoes reaction with oxygen at 450 to 500 degrees Celsius temperature at the presence of vanadium pentoxide, and it will produce sulfur trioxide gas. Now, in the third step, when we add water with sulfur dioxide gas, it will produce sulfuric acid. But there is a problem of preparing sulfuric acid in that way. When we add water in sulfur trioxide, it will produce gaseous sulfuric acid, which is extremely hazardous, and it creates a dense fog inside the industry. And beside that, it is very difficult to prepare liquid sulfuric acid from gaseous sulfuric acid by condensation process. So we use another thing to prepare sulfuric acid in this process. So what we will do, we will add sulfur trioxide with sulfuric acid, and then fuming sulfuric acid is prepared. This fuming sulfuric acid is known as oleum. Now we can see in the third step, what will we do? Sulfur trioxide undergoes reaction with, we are adding sulfuric acid with sulfur trioxide, and it will produce fuming sulfuric acid. The another name of fuming sulfuric acid is oleum. This is oleum. Then we slowly add water with oleum and we prepare the sulfuric acid. So in the next step, what happened when we add water with oleum? It produces sulfuric acid. So using 3 steps, we can prepare sulfuric acid from solid sulfur. I am going to discuss some of the chemical properties of sulfuric acid. Among them, the first one is acidic properties. Dilute and concentrate sulfuric acid undergoes reaction with alkali and produce salt and water. And from this reaction, we can say sulfuric acid is an acid, or this reaction indicate that the acidic properties of sulfuric acid. Now, I'm going to show you acid property. Now I'm going to show you the acid property. Here you can see calcium hydroxide, which is a base. When it reacts with sulfuric acid, it will produce calcium sulfate, salt, and water molecule. So from this reaction we can say that sulfuric acid is an acid. Next one is oxidation properties. When excess amount of water is added with sulfuric acid, that solution is known as dilute solution of sulfuric acid. Dilute solution of sulfuric acid does not possess any oxidation properties. However, concentrated sulfuric acid possesses oxidation properties. And I'm going to give you an example of oxidation properties of concentrated sulfuric acid. You can see when sulfuric acid undergoes reaction with copper, I repeat once again, when concentrated sulfuric acid, that must be concentrate, that means the amount of water is less, then it oxidates the copper and produce copper sulfate, sulfur dioxide, and water molecule. So this is the oxidation properties of sulfuric acid. The substance that absorb water from any compound are known as dehydrating agent, and the properties that showed by dehydrating agent is known as dehydrating properties. Dilute sulfuric acid does not show dehydrating properties. However, concentrated sulfuric acid show dehydrating properties. When concentrated sulfuric acid react with sugar, it taken out all the water from the sugar and turn it into the carbon. Now I am going to show you the dehydrating properties of sulfuric acid. Students, you can see dehydrating property. You can see the formula of sugar is C12H22O11. When we add, you can see 12 carbon, 22 hydrogen and 11 oxygen atom are present in the sugar molecule. When we add sulfuric acid in sugar, it turns sugar into carbon. After adding the sulfuric acid with the sugar, 12 carbon atom will release and sulfuric acid absorb 11 water molecule from a sugar molecule. So this is the dehydrating properties of sulfuric acid. You can see sugar, when we add sulfuric acid with sugar, it take out all the water from the sugar and turn the sugar into carbon. When we add sulfuric acid into the sugar, the color of the sugar turn into the black. The students hope that you understood all the topics discussed in this class. If you have any question, if you have any query, you can ask question to your respective subject teacher. And thank you for being present from beginning to end.